whatever. So it's like they think it's one sided. It's not. Both parties do this shit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. They keep those lines up doing that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of wild, dude. It's gonna be. I don't know. Here's something I'm kind of disappointed about. Okay. We have the left pretty much on the run here. We have them against the ropes, bro. We're winning all over the place. But then we got these dumb fucks who supposedly are on the right, like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Pepe and Nick Fuentes, who I think personally was being funded by the Southern Poverty Law Center. I think Nick Fuentes has been a plant the whole fucking time. This is what I'm getting at, I guess. We're making so many strides here. We got the left on the run, yet we got these fucking idiots who want to die on this Jewish hill, who want to die because they hate Israel and Jews so bad. They're ruining the movement. Like, what the fuck? Like, we have got these assholes on the run. We're trying to make a difference for the country. Look at the bigger picture. Yet we got these idiots like Pepe and motherfuckers who are so worried about this Jewish Israel fucking shit and don't even want to admit that at least Israel is defending our interest, unlike our allies who we have our other European or our European allies who we have asked for support. They don't want to do it. The Jews, Israel is actually fucking coming to bat for us. So I just wish, man, that we would focus on the bigger picture of saving this fucking country. But no, as soon as we get a win, we got idiots like Pepe who want to fucking die on this hill and ruin the whole movement. I think it's fucked up, man.
Well, the left and the right have a J word question problem, and if you listen to the left, like they go deep into J word conspiracy constantly, and it doesn't really matter what the topic is: indigenous rights, neocolonial things. Like they have a list of grievances, and then they say, "Oh, so you don't stand for gay black men?" Like if you listen to Isaiah or whatever his name is, Goat or Ban or whatever, everything ultimately becomes, oh, so you don't support black women, you don't support gay black men. Like it's the same uh, filibuster hypnosis. It's entertainment. But the scary part is the size of the audience. If you look at that politically correct room for the past like 2 days, 3 days, huge numbers. So clearly, like the left is top heavy, and the right is it's just not dense. There's no density in it. So that's why I think Donald Trump has to truly MAGA America. And
It's all the same people in that room. There was like I counted probably a half a dozen new voices that new people, and that's being in the hallway pretty high up there for hours. So I wouldn't say that it's completely like a complete like
no, it's not an echo chamber. Eventually they mellow out. But did you listen to the movie? Because that guy was fucking hilarious.
that was a shit show.
Can I piggyback on what Matt said, though? Really, like, John, I know you've said, like, yeah, there's so many more leftist retards than there is people on the right. That's not necessarily true. It's just that a lot of people on the right have, have got values and don't waste their time on this app arguing with a bunch of nonsense. And so I feel like I'm one of the few people on the right who does entertain that. And I shouldn't, but there's a lot of good valued people on the right who just won't fucking waste their time with this app, bro. And these people on the left who sit there and bitch and cry every day about, oh, we gotta change the system. It's a good dopamine hit, but they're never gonna do anything. I mean, 5 years fucking later, they're talking about the same fucking shit, bro. It feels good. It sounds nice.
Well, I heard them admit that they're actually completely engaged in propaganda creation, and they know it. And they say it's dangerous to have these debates. We shouldn't have these debates. It exposes us. It's dangerous for us to even talk about these things. So they know that they're just ruthlessly, creating echo chamber propaganda. And that guy, the movie, fucking, oh my god, it was so funny.
Well, like, how do you, like, we have to, I mean, I don't think we have to agree with the shit show he is. Like, he was just completely didn't know anything. But he also has, like, I don't know how to describe it. He's kind of like the vestiges of, like, just fighting back. I don't know, John. Like, that's how I could describe it. I don't know, like, we're still at that point where we're fighting retardation with retardation. Does that make sense at all? I don't know.
No, because it's an Isaiah show. It's a goat show. Like he is the energy. He is
Yeah.
the audience. Like there's it's his show. And then you have First Lady who chimes in with her ridiculousness. The whole
Yeah,
thing
Joe's
is
a professor.
it's just a show. Yeah, it's entertainment.
It's not too much on First Lady though. She's like,
This morning they had nobody in their room because Goat was in Hurricane's room. Hurricane had like 80, 90 people and they had like 20.
Yeah, Goat is definitely the voice there. And you know what's funny is he's supposedly the smartest leftist there, but if you do your research well, you can fucking make that guy look like an idiot. Which, you know, I have done a few times, so.
I know. Scott, welcome to the league. For this, like, you're new to the house. We're perfectly okay for opposition if you have a different opinion. I don't know if you wanted to speak, but I just wanted to welcome you.
Hi. Can you hear me? This is the first time I'm using these earbuds.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
I'm from Washington State, so I'm basically on the far left, I think.
I'm from Montana, bro, so I'm not far from you. My family lives in the Spokane area, so.
Okay, yeah, well, I normally don't focus too much on political stuff, but I know it definitely has an effect on everybody, so I think it's definitely good every once in a while just to get involved and, share your opinion and, your thoughts and stuff, because we're all in it together. So.
But you raise a good question. Like, I've always kind of wondered, like, if we didn't pay attention, would it really matter that much? I mean, I don't know. So you're saying that you're kind of dipping back in. Have you ever been involved in it or not, first of all?
I think just like personal life experiences, I wouldn't normally draw a direct connection between, political activity and government stuff.
John.
But I come from like a military family, so, it affects sort of the way, we move around and, look for work and stuff. So in that sense, yeah, it's definitely scary, looking at the situation and stuff, and it's almost like a roller coaster ride, right now it's like nobody knows which direction things are gonna go, so.
See, I felt that way with Obama. That's how I felt with Obama. Like, I don't know why people are so fucking shit scared about Trump. Like, I feel like we're in good hands with this man. Like, Obama, bro, I genuinely felt scared. And then Biden, I really did. I knew that fucker was not in charge of nothing. So, I don't know why people, like, you can't let the media convince you of this uncertainty, bro. That's what it is that they've been trying to convince people that he's Hitler, that he's fucking shit up, they've been trying everything, throwing everything with this man, trying to kill him, including. So, I don't know, man.
But I don't think we're out of the clear. I think Scott is going to put a butt on this and give us his opinion on Trump here in a second. As you are from a very left-leaning state, so do you want to just get to it and just give us a little bit of
Hey, got some music there. Well, I mean, the way I was raised. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, yeah.
So I guess the way I was raised, I actually have family who's not from this country. I'd say like half of it. My mom moved here from the outside, so she's basically, she's been here a while now, but I think she's still considered a foreigner. So I guess that in that sense, it always weighs on my mind, which way things are gonna go, and I think because of that, though, I'm more of like a passive or like just a follower. You know what I mean? Because in my situation, I don't know if I'd be comfortable rocking the boat and standing up and making mistakes and stuff and doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean?
So you said most of your family has voted for the Democrats. Is that what you just said? I did. Yeah.
I think most of the time they do stay out of it, but I do come from like a military family, so we're familiar with obeying, the rules and the regulations and stuff, and accepting the president and just, going with it and trying to accept people.
That's probably true. A lot of the military families probably don't want to play the political angle of things just because you always just stand behind the commander in chief at the end of the day. So I hear what you're saying. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and for whatever reason, I always had this feeling in the back of my mind that, like, fights and arguments could escalate and stuff. It's like, I really don't want to start any type of conflict, especially with all the stories going on, I don't want it to be a part of my life.
Hey, Mark,
I don't want to be.
Scott, if I may, are you Asian, bro? Like, I'm just curious because, like, I've never known anybody to be so, I don't know, like, I don't want to start any fight. Like, I'm just curious. Like, I'm serious. No disrespect to your Asian.
No disrespect. You know that you're definitely smart, and yeah, I'm half Asian, half Filipino.
I can almost maybe tell by your voice, but also just by your demeanor. Like, Asians tend to be calm and collected, but I mean, I know Asians can fight because, I mean, the Vietnamese, the Chinese, the Japanese, I mean, you guys are nice and smart, and calm and collected when you need to be, but when you need to fight, you guys can definitely fight. So, but I could just tell, so that's cool.
Yeah. I was always raised to just obey because they're familiar, at least on my mom's side, she's familiar with a lot of, like, bad stuff going on, and she always told me, look, you really don't want to go down that route, so, just stick with it and do the best you can and stuff, and hopefully everything will just work itself out in the future. But that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need more calm-headed people on this app. It gets too much.
Have you seen this Spencer Pratt
Yeah.
and the California poll numbers? Because it's like, I just read an article about it, but California's polling numbers are like trending Republican, and Spencer Pratt's campaign looks like it's crushing it. So if Karen Bass, yeah.
You see his videos, John?
Yes.
He's absolutely crushing it. Whoever his campaign dude is, man, he needs to do that for like all.
Do you remember Spencer on like reality shows? Because I remember when he was like on reality shows.
Yep.
I remember when he was young, and he was always fighting with his girlfriend.
It's crazy. I don't know.
But good for him. He became an adult, and he sounds like exactly what LA needs, dude. They need someone to take that city back, and that's awesome.
I put my ballot in today. I went for Steve Hilton only because he's for governor, only because he's actually tied, and we just need to push him over the finish line. But there was Eric Swalwell still on the ballot. I'm like, what is going on around here? And actually, Barack Obama was on the ballot too. Now, that's a different story, but it actually is a different guy. But I'm like, what is Barack Obama doing on the ballot? His name is Barack Obama, but what's the name on the ballot? I thought he resigned or whatever. What the fuck?
He did, apparently. He's not even in the... Yeah, they just maybe can't take him off the ballot or something. I don't know.
Right? He's there to suck away votes from somebody. So stupid.
Maybe, yep. Exactly.
He's saying that, like, if he gets elected,
it's funny, man.
he's issuing a.
Go
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim.
I was just gonna say, Spencer Pratt said he's gonna do like a 3-week warning where, like, if you're not in compliance, he's like, within 3 weeks there will be full enforcement, and like he will basically raid the city, and they're talking about cleaning up Skid Row and developing it, and there's like a major fire downtown Los Angeles right now, and he's saying that because of all the DUIs and how they have to allocate fire and ambulance resources, like they can't even fight their fires. So it's like it really is. I mean, this is going to be a big moment, and and I really hope they take LA. This would be very exciting to get
It'd
rid of
be
Paradise.
epic.
It'd be great. It'd be great, man. You know, I want to see these people cry. Apparently 2028 is looking even better. That's why I like that picture you got there, Matt, in your PTR. I mean, that's 2028 is going to be even better, apparently, for us. So.
Hell yeah, dude.
But we won't have to kill him, obviously. I mean, but just as far as the Republican landscape, you know, it's just funny because, like, I was in that fucking room with Goat, and he's trying to gaslight people up, and man, that just seems really, really, you know, really political. This just doesn't seem right. Like, yeah, and I was like, dude, of course. And then I started looking at the history of it, man. Like, the reason, actually, the term gerrymander came from a Democratic
Jerry.
Yes, and it came from a Democratic Republican, which is funny. There was literally a party that was the Democratic Republicans. So I don't know. Technically, it
They're
kind
not a party. They're still an existing party. They're currently the Democratic Party, which is why the term is Democratic and not Democrat, because the line of the party is the Democratic Republicans.
You always got that specific info, Marshall. Appreciate that. Yeah, you know, and so we've been kind of.
Break down the gerrymandering part. Like, where did that come from? I heard somebody, I think maybe it was you, Mark.
So Elbert, I think he's the New England or a little below New England, and drew a district that looked like a salamander.
I have it here if you want me to read it exactly.
Yeah, dude, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of good. So, all right. So I started. What I put into Claude was who started the redistricting fight, the Democrats or the Republicans? And it said the honest answer is both parties have done it throughout U.S. history. But the current redistricting war of the mid-decade, one happening right now, was started by the Republicans, they're saying. But it was started by both. But let me just go to the history there. Elbridge Gerry, is a fascinating and somewhat forgotten founder. Here's a rundown. Born in 1744 in Marlborough, Massachusetts. You're a smart dude there, Marshall, you know. He was a wealthy merchant who became one of the most prominent and complicated figures of the founding eras anyway. So, what he did here, the gerrymandering district. The oddly shaped district his party drew to pack Federalist voters was so contorted that a Boston newspaper cartoonist drew it as a salamander-shaped monster and dubbed it the gerrymander. The name stuck permanently. So yeah. But, you know, they were both, I guess Gary was a Democratic Republican, which was the party founded by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. So it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But
Gerrymandering's been around, like you said, since the beginning of the country. And a good portion of the 20th century, the Democrats gerrymandered their states. They gave them a woman control of Congress for like 40 years, or at least the maps were set so they had an advantage to control the House for 40 years. The most recent spate of redistricting in a more partisan fashion started with the Republicans in 2010 in Texas. The most recent spate happened in Texas, which there should be a note of caution for Republicans. These things could easily turn into dummy managers or get struck down in a racial gerrymander accidentally. Or if you're Louisiana, get struck down as a racial matter intentionally. Louisiana had some maps. They went to the appellate court. The appellate court was no. Part of the Supreme Court decision, you can't draw districts based on race, and this was clearly drawn based on race to disfavor black people, and you can't do that.
But here's the thing, though, man. It's it's wild. I'm looking here, and that says that basically through the 1960s all the way up to the 1990s, the Democrats dominated this. They were kicking ass at gerrymandering, but it just changed. After the what? We're kind of cutting out.
I said, yeah, that's my point. Gerrymandered the ever-moving hell out of things for something between 50 years.
Yeah, it says after the 1960s elections, Democrats controlled redistricting in 21 states, covering 220 seats, while Republicans controlled only 7 states, covering 61 seats. That Democratic advantage held through the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, and they used it aggressively. But in 2010, the GOP launched a deliberate strategy called Red Map, specifically targeting state legislators and census years so they control the past census map drawing. It worked. In 2011, the Republicans held trifectas in 17 states covering 200 seats, while Democrats control only 6 states covering 44 seats. Historic low for Democrats, so.
Right. So wait, there's two things. One, I thought I heard a while ago there was an effort by, maybe I'm thinking something completely different, of the Democrats, doing something for the long term, maybe like a 10-year plan, turning, you know what, it's the sweet state stuff. So Colorado blue, you know where I'm going with this, Marshall. You remember that plan? I forget the name of it, but it was a devastating
It's
plan.
2029.
What is it?
It's called Plan. Yeah, I think it's called Plan 2029, and it's the Democrats' response to the Republicans' quote like 2025, like agenda 2025.
Yeah, I think that's it. So I gotta look that one up again too. By the way, here's my
Here comes this Jew-hater Pepe.
here's my question. You know how we're always told if you live in a blue state and you don't like it, you can move to a red state. I'm assuming people can just move around in districts, right, Marshall? Like I don't see.
Yeah, that is unless your state is so gerrymandered that most of the districts are one party. Right, like the way the Democrats were going to draw Virginia, one district would have been Republican. The way the Californians have gerrymandered California, there's like one Republican seat. The way Texas is gerrymandered, there's like 1 or 2 Democratic seats. And at least for me in Texas, I think it's going to turn out to be a fucking dummy mander. Because when we made the maps, we based them off of 2024 turnout. And here's the problem. In midterms, you never receive as high a turnout as you do in presidentials. You just don't. Which means the turnout in the Rio Grande Valley, which voted red for the first time since 1960, is not a reliable metric to make maps by. They should have used midterm years to draw the maps. Years. As a consequence, it could very easily end up in safer Democratic districts and more competitive Republican districts. Like the congresswoman I'm working for, she's running against a guy named Bobby Polito, went from a district of 7 counties to a district of 11 counties, and it's one of the most competitive races in the country. It's like in the top 5. So like gerrymander. You're gonna get what you deserve when you gerrymander.
Okay, so you said in Texas they based it off the last midterms being
presidential.
Presidential.
They based it off 2024 because the Rio Grande Valley turned out like
Oh,
all 5 counties, and now it goes off the Cameron, Wilson, and Starr. We turned out for Trump by as little as 51.5 and by as much as 57.8 for the first time since Richard Nixon in 1960.
I'm ready on the deck for sure.
All the maps for the districts, they used that data. I think the counts for like being on a presidential turn, like having people like not think your approval is good. It also means that you base it on high turnout without considering midterm or early turnout.
I thought they had to consider the state of
Once every 10 years.
Yeah, but I heard that.
Person's not afraid.
God says in Isaiah 41.
Is that the same thing though? I don't know.
No, Texas gerrymandered like 2 to 5 additional districts by shrinking Democratic representation in Texas.
It's just in general version, right? I got you. Okay, that's true.
Yeah, but here's the problem: the reduction of Democratic districts to Republican districts was made based on the thought that the next election would be as high as 24. and that's not true. It's never true. But I haven't run into Todd Hunter in a decade. If I ever run into Todd Hunter again, the first question I'm gonna ask him is, why the fuck did you use the 2024 maps? Why didn't you use like 2022? It was like would have predicted, which would have shown you low turnout, but would have showed you where you were in a midterm year. So that when you redistricted mid-decade, it made more sense. Now, I'm sure somebody probably looped that data in. Right, somebody told Todd Hunter, hey, you should consider this. But for my friends that work for him, they're like, nah, he mostly used 24. And that's just like, that's not responsible for the Texas Republican Party. Like, the Texas Republican Party is massively mismanaging itself.
So is it fair to, like, okay, so did nobody see this coming? I mean, like, it seemed like just kind of just came out of nowhere, and obviously it sped up quite a bit with the Supreme Court ruling. But did everybody see this coming, that this, like, a redistricting, basically war would take place, or no, Marshall?
I think
radar.
I think post 2010, people were thinking about what the next sugar drop was. After you had Joe v. Whitford, which was the case where the Supreme Court said we will no longer decide political gerrymandering cases. If a racial gerrymander comes before us, we'll absolutely decide that, but we won't decide a political gerrymander. And that tended toward Republicans control most state delegations and most legislatures, so they drew maps in their favor. To a certain extent, we did exactly what the Democrats did. To another extent, in certain places, we didn't use the right numbers in Texas, and in places like Louisiana, it was blatantly racial. That's why their maps got struck down, because they disfavored African Americans. Like, they took not a majority-minority district, but like, it's called packing and cracking. So say you have like a city that's got like 43% black population, and it would make sense for that city to vote on its own, not because they're black people, but because it's a city. And you want somebody to represent the city, and you want somebody to represent the rural, so you get both of those representation. Well, if what you do then is take that population inside of the city and chop it up into 6 places, you can be accused of a racial gerrymander. And this is being appealed, so we'll see what it's being appealed for the second time. So we'll see what the appellate court has to say the second
It's not
time
gonna
around.
work out for them, Marshall. They're clearly doing gerrymandering this shit off of race, so it's not gonna work.
No, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work either. I think the court's gonna strike it down and go, hey, we told y'all you couldn't racially gerrymander, you couldn't draw communities of interest or like majority-minority districts, but you also can't like draw all white districts. So neither one is acceptable.
Of course.
We know that. It's like vote seeking. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, everybody's politicians choosing their voters instead of the voters choosing their politician.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, I'm not saying the right doesn't do some fucked up shit, here and there, but I think the left clearly, with them, the gerrymandering, the fucking open borders, let all the, the amnesty, just the, they want votes, bro. They fucking
by the way, real quick, good point. I mean, that was really the big point of letting in a lot of illegals, was eventually
votes
to totally change the way the map looks, by the way, a lot of the ways.
But, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Because all of a sudden you have to make sure everybody's represented.
Well, I don't think
it's... disagree with that a little bit, but...
No, I disagree because I think it's about resources rather than people voting for Democrats. I think if you get the resources...
go through Democrats, though.
What are you talking
about? No, what I mean is, so like the Rio Grande Valley, we live right next to the border. We have a population of people who are in this country legally. We just do, because we live so close to the border. But in a sense, those people are always considered. So if you bring in 13 million people and you divide them amongst the states, they chime in on, they chime in on size of districts and the amount of money the federal government allocates to each state. So I think it's more of that than, they're going to go into a voting booth and vote for the Democrats.
No, I think it's clearly that, because they've done their research, man. Like I was just about to say, for most immigrants, when they first show up, the first generation immigrants overwhelmingly vote Democrat because they believe that these are the people that brought them there. They're not going to like, though, that like Hispanics are actually very conservative people, and second and third and fourth generation Latinos and immigrants are not so democratic.
Well,
But
I'll say,
so
I'm
let
not,
me finish.
depends on where they live.
Listen. But what I'm saying is here is I'm just
Latinos, Mexicans are a lot different than Puerto Ricans.
yeah. Okay,
And a lot
anywhere
different than
from South
Guatemala
America.
and Honduras.
Yes, but people that are Catholic especially. But listen though,
They're all
especially
mostly
like,
Catholic.
but as far as like no voting ID, that is absolutely so they can get votes. Mail-in voting, that is absolutely so they can get votes. Open borders,
You do know mail-in
immigrants,
voting
that
was
is absolutely
pioneered by
so they can get.
Republicans. You do know mail-in voting was pioneered by Republicans in Washington State, right? And we did it as a way to win over the Democrats on the West Coast.
Well,
You
mail-in
have
voting was ramped the
you have
fuck up
Mexican
during
majority
COVID. So.
states like New Mexico, for example, that are reliable Democrat. It's basically they have an old Democratic machine there. I mean, they are reliably a blue state for the most part. Yeah, but that doesn't mean the migrants are always going to vote for Democrats. No, but this is what I'm. And here's the difference between New Mexicans is New Mexicans have been there for close to 500 fucking years. These are most of the people in New Mexico are not the descendants of immigrants. They literally were part of New Spain. They're natives, right? It's Hopi. Well, yeah, you have Navajo. I think is probably like the Hopi Indians of New Mexico. I think the largest. Oh, I know they're Navajo stretches into New Mexico. And so I think they're the largest.
Internet, bro.
Yeah, Marshall, you got some fucked up internet, by the way, bro.
Yeah, we can't really hear your ass.
Scott, I saw you come off mic. Do you want to get back in or no?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna ask if gerrymandering is like is that like a monopoly or?
Like a monopoly?
Yeah, I'm not exactly familiar with the term. I hear you guys using it a lot.
So gerrymandering means I draw a district in my political favor. So if I have legislative control and I'm a Republican and I want to gerrymander the state, it means I'm going to arrange it in a way where Republicans have more to say than Democrats do by arranging voters and districts in such patterns that Republicans are always the majority.
Okay, so you're saying like premeditated, like just control.
Exactly. You said you're from Washington State, Scott? Is that right?
Yeah.
Marshall, they're not doing anything, right? Not that I'm aware of. They're not doing.
No, I'm not saying that. My point about bringing them up.
No, I know. I'm just saying general. That you haven't heard them wanting to do anything. Washington State or no?
No, I mean I haven't heard anything. Look, like mail-in ballot. Like, I'm a really big fan of like the time, place, manner clause of the Constitution, which derives the ability to like hold elections in states. Now, I can get on board with the national ID because we got one in Texas, and I really don't have a problem with it. And I think it's patronizing to tell people they can't get IDs that are too poor and stupid to be able to figure it out. But I'm opposed to nationalizing things in terms of election issues aside from the ID. Like, I don't think Washington should have more control. In the Constitution, they can if they pass a law, but I prefer the states to have the control. Now, that's going to mean that you have a state like Minnesota who decides not to do ID, and a state like Texas who does decide to do ID, or you have a national law that only does ID, and then everything else is still up to the states. Like, I think states should be allowed to run their own elections, and I think it's an important thing that elections be run by the policies they represent.
Well, I know that there are a lot of people who write in the streets, but I don't know if that would be considered gerrymandering. I don't know if you guys have that type of stuff.
No, when you go to vote, you vote in a district, right? Like, Do you know your congressional district or state house district?
No, I don't really.
So let's just use your state house district as an example. I don't know which state house district you're in, but the state house district is drawn probably in Washington State, it's controlled by the Democrats, to favor a Democratic choice. So that means instead of the district being neutral, like 50-50.
Is it a district like a county or?
No, a district is considered the political geographical
So
arrangement
voting
inside.
district,
Yeah, inside which a representative represents you.
Okay, so
Well,
just
they're
the
the
landscape
official.
of the decisions people make.
You know, I feel like I'm making this too intellectual. You want to like.
Yeah, I mean, just
No,
let's just
I understand.
no, it's all right. Let's just simplify it if we can. So how it works: the party in control of redistricting, which happens after each census, draws district lines to either cram as many opposition voters as possible into a few districts so they can waste votes winning by huge margins, or split opposition voter concentrations across multiple districts. So they're a minority in each one. For example, if a party has won 60% of the voters statewide, skilled gerrymandering can still give Party B. So if Party A has won a 60% majority of voters in statewide, skilled gerrymandering can still give Party B a majority of the seats by concentrating Party A's voters into a handful of landslide districts. So I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess.
Yeah, so you're saying though, like the district is basically which way you're voting. It has nothing to do with like the property line, the area of.
I think it's
Drawn around political identity. So if you have, say, a major city that tends to go blue, and you're in a blue state, typically the gerrymandering will look like taking from the center of a blue city, which has lots of people, and lumping in the countryside, which has no people. Therefore, it's a Democratic gerrymander, and then they decide by how many points. Right?
So
Go ahead.
in simplified terms, the core idea is just dividing a large area into smaller chunks so each chunk has its own elected representative or governing body.
You're saying like the area of people.
Yeah, so like congressional
Okay.
district, there's congressional districts and then state legislative districts, right? Congressional district, each one elects a single member to the U.S. House of Representatives. There are 435 of them nationwide, with each state getting a number proportional to its population. So like me in Montana, for example, I have 2 state legislative districts. Similar idea, but for state legislators, most states have both anyway. So like redistricts are redrawn every 10 years after the census. The census for how many people we have as population shifts, right? Each district is supposed to have roughly equal population, 1 person, 1 vote. District boundaries are usually drawn by state legislators, which is why gerrymandering is possible. So that's what I say. Like the core idea is dividing a large area into smaller chunks, so each chunk has its own elected representative of governing body. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
By the way, is that put on people's ballots to vote on too? That was the other thing. I know in California we did that.
Depends upon the state and whether they operate through referendums.
Okay.
Like Virginia and California and a couple other states, they operate off referendum.
I didn't know some states don't do referendums. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Like Texas doesn't do referendum. We do constitutional elections, and the mid-decade gerrymander was decided by the legislature, and the standing committees of the legislature, because we only meet every 2 years, and given approval through the big 3 in Texas, which is lieutenant governor, the governor, and the speaker of the House. And that's a little bit different than, say, maybe how Tennessee draws maps. Tennessee draws maps purely by legislature.
So there is some variety to all this. So like the subcommittee, they can just throw up a subcommittee like they did. I forget which state it was. was it the Virginia one that they threw up a subcommittee and they just started like redrawing it? I don't know.
No, special. It was a special session.
Oh, okay.
And the rule in Virginia is that when you pass a map, there has to be an intervening election to like throw the bums out and replace them with new bums. And Katie Porter and the Democrats in the state maintained that the election was not early voting, which was already underway. The election was day of. And the Virginia Supreme Court did not like that argument. They were like, nah, it's bullshit, you can't do that.
Yeah, I heard about that. And then you hear what they're trying to do, right? The congressional Democrats are asking the legislature to literally limit the age of the Supreme Court justices of Virginia. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh shit.
But the Democrats have a habit of rediscovering limited government every time they're out of power.
I'll pin the article. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like yesterday, there was some guy who was talking about how we just fuck the laws and we just need to do it anyway. And that's like what happens, man. You know, that's why we get in this mess. Because as soon as, one gets power, we're going to cram it in the ass of the Democrats or the Republicans. And then that other party gets in power and uses it against them or changes it. It's not, the country ultimately, I think, suffers because of this shit.
They do the exact same shit to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason the filibuster hasn't been tossed out, by Republicans, is because, okay, we'll get to cram the SAVE Act down their throat, and we're going to get to cram several other bills down their throat. But what happens when they're in the majority, and they can then force shit down their throat, and we have no protection against that?
Dude, they're going to try to go hard on us. You know they are.
No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying, the rationale in the party to protect the filibuster is, if we decide to be so ambitious...
Yeah, you say the same thing over and over again, Marshall. I've heard you say this, for years.
Yeah, you can either rebut it, but you don't need to tell me I've been saying it for a long time. I know what I've said for a long time. It's not necessary for you to remind me. He's just an asshole, just ignore him.
Yeah, that's projection, Pepper.
Marshall,
That's a you problem.
Go look at it, Marshall, what they plan on trying to do.
Okay. It's wild. I think that when the Democrats eventually do get power back, dude, they're gonna, this is why, I don't want to get religious here, but I don't think America's gonna be around in the end times.
Well, on this app, they love to say when things go back to normal. I hear it all the time, politically correct. When things go back to normal. It's never going back to normal for these people. We have opened Pandora's box and we're not turning back. Their reign is over. The incompetent clown world is never coming back.
I am mad at you, John, for not beating the shit out of that punk ass bitch Illumi. He keeps fucking ruining every theology room that I'm ever a part of. And the fact that you're stronger, smarter, wiser, cunninger, you're goofier, you could do it, John, with a snap of your fucking finger.
Got it, Kitty. Okay. Well, don't know what to tell you, Kitty. Maybe you're your own worst enemy, Kitty. Maybe you are your own worst enemy, Kitty. Hello?
John, take care of this guy.
John, okay?
There's no stopping R-word clown world people.
No, and that's not going to go over really well. He's going to be an insistent asshole.
No. Marshall, you don't even know who we're talking about. It's a guy named Illumi.
It's Cynic Mikhail. See, people just repeat themselves. Oh, we got Augustus in the house.
No, he doesn't stop, John. He doesn't stop. And you're the only person that can fucking fix it.
Okay, Kitty, just take a deep breath and relax. We've been witnessing Clown World on here for many years now. Nothing new.
I'm gonna kill him, man. I'm gonna kill him, John.
The only word you'll get from me, next time.
Just saying, you probably shouldn't say that on an app that records you and has a specific prohibition against saying those very things.
Yeah.
Marshall, grab your vagina and go fuck yourself.
No, really.
Okay, if you want to get your account clipped, that's your fucking business, not mine. I'm just saying that's the kind of shit
Pretty
that gets
sure
your
I
account
have
clipped.
70 fucking accounts, more than John's had. So
But
go
John-
fucking get
John-
my fucking
Kitty,
little
you're
butt out.
missing a point, which is like, if you don't want to lose the account, don't say dumb shit like that, which is clearly a violation of the terms of service.
Not only that, dude.
Wait, don't scare, don't scare, don't scare, don't scare.
Oh, no.
Don't scare.
Listen, no, this is kind of like,
Hey, Kitty. No, Kitty's my friend. Kitty's my friend. Kitty.
What
Hi,
up, my
Kitty.
baby?
He's my friend.
How you doing, sweetheart? I got her. Please.
I'm fine.
Please, Marshall. I got it, my brother. I hear you, my picture, brother. Kitty. Hello, love.
Sorry.
There's a way that we talk. I know, you're passionate. I know you're passionate. I know. No. I'm just as passionate as you. How you doing, love?
I'm fine.
Okay. Happy Mother's Day to you. Okay. It's your world. I just want you to